What's going on, everyone? So this offseason, LeBron James was willing to take a discount in order to get players like DeMar DeRozan, Klay Thompson, and Jonas Valanciunas were names among that list. And now reports kind of going around, the Lakers are still expected to go and trade for Jonas Valanciunas. There is reports per Dave McMahon that the Lakers weren't willing to kind of pony up what was needed. I don't really buy that, if I'm being honest, because why would you not be willing to pay and do and give the years necessary to go get Jonas Valanciunas when now you're going to trade for the guy for the money that you would have paid him and the years you would have paid while also giving up assets? I just don't buy that. I think the Lakers did what they always do, and they went after DeMar DeRozan, they went after Klay Thompson, the two big names. Jonas Valanciunas looked at it and was like, hey, I don't want to end up being a player that ends up having to sign for a vet minimum or is scrambling for, a signing and to be with a team. Let me go take this bag right now that the Wizards are offering. That's what I think ultimately happened. Now, obviously, we don't know all the details. There's details missing, and kind of broke that down in the Jonas Valanciunas news more over on As It Stands Lakers. So if you want more detail and just kind of insight in that, go check that out. But what I want to talk about here is Valanciunas and nothing really changing for the Lakers. Right? A lot of people are upset because the Lakers didn't go and get Jonas Valanciunas and now potentially have to give up assets. Now, yes, you have to give up assets now in order to go get Valanciunas. But you probably would have had to have done that regardless. Right? The Lakers have a full roster. They had a full roster whether they went and got Valanciunas or not, which means that they would have had to trade in order to free up a roster spot in order to sign Jonas Valanciunas. Teams aren't doing that out of the kindness of their hearts. Teams aren't going to take on, Cam Reddish just to take on Cam Reddish so you can go and sign Valanciunas. No, it's going to cost you something. And it's going to cost you probably a second, if not two. I mean, the Chicago Bulls got 2 seconds for just facilitating the trade for DeMar DeRozan. Same thing with, Klay Thompson, right? Like, you go down the list and it's like, the Lakers would have had to give up a second or two in order to get Valanciunas just by salary dumping. Well, now that the Washington Wizards have Jonas Valanciunas, you can still make the move. And now it's the same result. You're not trading a first for Valanciunas. Valanciunas isn't going to cost, unprotected. No, it's going to be a second, probably 2 seconds, somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe 3. Maybe it's like a Rui type deal where you're giving up a couple seconds. Regardless, you're going to have to give up seconds. You're going to have to do that in a deal regardless. But here's the thing now. Now, if you're doing a trade, maybe you can convince Washington to take on more salary, right? So, for example, instead, like you could do, Gabe Vincent straight up for Valanciunas, right? Well, maybe you're doing Gabe Vincent and you're doing, Cam Reddish, and you're bringing in a Jordan Goodwin, right? So now you got a center position and Jonas Valanciunas and solve that dilemma. Oh, but you also were able to bring in a similar guard, but a better rebounder in Jordan Goodwin, right? To kind of offset that. Or, the Lakers still would have flexibility to do other trades and moves. Valanciunas is not going to change anything for the Lakers. The end result is still going to be the same. The only thing that you're missing out is just the time, right? So instead of getting him before training camp, right? Like what that does is now you have to basically stay afloat till December 15th, I believe is when Valanciunas becomes available. So now you have to stay afloat till December 15th. And then you can go and make a move and trade for Jonas Valanciunas. And hopefully you can kind of bring him up to speed, kind of get, that worked out. Beauty is like you're not asking him to come in and be a 30-minute a game guy, right? You're asking him to come in, play the backup role, on occasion start, right? Like LeBron gets the night off. Maybe you're sliding Anthony Davis to the 4 because Anthony Davis supposedly doesn't want to play the center position as much. He's still willing to play the center. He just doesn't want to play it full time, right? So if you get a guy like Valanciunas, well, you could easily, you could still start your usual suspects. And then, when LeBron goes to the bench, slide AD to the 4, bring in Valanciunas at the 5, and let those two kind of work it out. And then, again, games where LeBron gets the night off, Valanciunas slides into the center position, AD slides to the 4, or if AD misses a game, right, Valanciunas comes in, boom, can fill that role. I mean, Valanciunas will probably start half the games this upcoming season. Because even certain matchups, right, you'll have, say you're playing Minnesota, right? Like, it makes sense to kind of go Valanciunas on Gobert and then have Anthony Davis on Cat, right? So it just gives you that flexibility, that versatility from a big man perspective. And obviously, look, the Lakers need a center. They need a big man. They do. Like, without a doubt. And, Valanciunas isn't perfect. He's not without his flaws. But even on the defensive side of things, where he kind of has a struggle and where the concern of him potentially getting played off the court lies, I think slotted alongside Anthony Davis will be fine. Right? Also, Valanciunas is fine when you are able to funnel the offensive player to him. When he's got to be on an island and, teams put him in a bunch of pick and roll action and you don't have that help like you would with Anthony Davis, then yeah, Valanciunas becomes a liability and he's going to end up getting played off the court. However, if you're able to pair him with Anthony Davis and the ground that he covers on the defensive side, I think you'll be fine. Right? I think you're not looking for Valanciunas to play 40 minutes a game. You're looking for him to come in, play 15, maybe 20 minutes, be a key part, and you could still go make other moves. You could still go trade for Jeremy Grant, right? Because again, you're not giving up any first to go get Valanciunas, right? So like I said, you're swapping, Gabe Vincent for Valanciunas, and there you go, right? And then now you have, you still have D'Lo, you still have Rui, still have Jared Vanderbilt if he can't stay healthy, if you want, or, and the Lakers were also looking to move him this past offseason. So, getting Valanciunas into a Laker jersey doesn't change any type of outcome. All right. You still have the players and the assets and everything you need, but Valanciunas would make the Lakers better. Talk about a guy that can, make plays out of the post. You can dump the ball down to, and he can just go to work and get you a bucket. He can stretch the floor. I mean, this guy has had some monster games. He's going to help with the rebounding, right? He's a very good rebounder, right? Valanciunas makes a lot of sense for the Lakers, and he's cheap, right? He's a cheap option, which, you're not, like, you look at some of the other guys that are available, right? Obviously, like a Wendell Carter Jr. or Walker Kessler would be ideal, but a Valanciunas, right, compared to a Clint Capella, talking double the money. You're talking, 20 million, I think Clint Capella's making 21 million, something like that. Where if you look at, say Valanciunas making 10 million, which only 2 years are guaranteed. That final year is non-guaranteed. So at most, the Lakers keep him 3 years, or if you need to and you want to clear salary, or LeBron retires and Anthony, like, he lines up with that timeline, so that's perfect. This is a guy that'll give you 12 and 8 in limited minutes, right? So you look at last year with the Pelicans, played all 82 games, which is also huge. I mean, he's played 79 games and 82 games the last 2 years. That is massive for the Lakers, by the way, just to point that out there. But he played last year, he played 23 and a half minutes. In that 23 and a half minutes, he averaged 12.2 points, 8.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, half a steal, and a block. Shot 79% from the foul line, 60% from 2-point range, and he had a rough year from three last year. He only shot 31% from 3-point range, but he has had multiple years in which he shot 36, 37%. 2 seasons ago, he actually shot 36.1% on 2.1 attempts. There you go. Sorry, lost my CD. But yeah, so again, Brandon Valanciunas. Obviously, this gives you time to kind of gauge and see, maybe you get a Walker Kessler, maybe you get a Wendell Carter Jr., but I do think at the end of it all, it's probably going to be Valanciunas. I just think that the Lakers and the Wizards have a relationship. They've built that foundation together. It makes sense that they would ultimately do another deal again. You usually do deals with teams you've built that rapport with, right? You've built those relationships with. And, I think going and getting Valanciunas, you're good to go. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of the Lakers going and getting Valanciunas? Do you think yes? Do you think it doesn't change anything? You still would have to give up assets regardless. So the fact that the Lakers have to give up assets to go get Valanciunas, period. Now, you don't have to give up $10 million. So you could argue, oh, well, you wouldn't have had to give up Gabe Vincent. Sure. But it doesn't really change anything. And if you would have worked out a sign and trade as opposed to signing him outright, which you're hoping he would have signed outright, but who knows? He might have wanted to do a sign and trade. I don't know. Right? Maybe he talked to the Pelicans and Pelicans helped him out. There's a million things. Again, we don't have all the details. We don't know what was going on behind the scenes. So all we can do is just go and trade for Valanciunas. But anyway, again, I feel what your thoughts are. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.